And this is the latest offering from the Mustang stable, the Dark Horse. Yes, it is a 5-litre, naturally aspirated V8 with 453 horsepower. God bless America.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You can't just jump in with a new one. To fully appreciate the impact that the Ford Mustang has had over the last 60 years, we need to go right back to where it all began.
Sorry, Rory.
Much better. The Ford Mustang. With 10 million sold worldwide, it's Ford's longest running and most iconic name badge. To understand why, we need to go back to this, the Mark I. Born into a time of profound change, youthful energy, and cheap gas prices, this was more than just a car. This was an American dream. In the early 1960s, Ford saw a gap in the market for a sports car that was practical, exciting, and affordable to young people. The Mustang, as it became known, was launched at the New York World's Fair in April 1964 for a starting price of just $2,368. The American public had never seen anything like it. From its long bonnet to its tri-bar taillights, it oozed cool and sent a new generation of young, thrill-seeking Americans Mustang mad. Ford sold over 400,000 in the first 12 months, making it one of the fastest-selling cars of all time. And it wasn't long before the silver screen came calling too. The 1968 classic Bullitt saw Steve McQueen's '68 Mustang GT pursued by one of its biggest rivals, the Dodge Charger. The Stang obviously looked like a film star. But, as any self-respecting petrol head knows, it's what's under the hood that really matters. And that is a 4.7-litre V8 that brought muscle to the masses with 200 brake horsepower and a 105-mile-an-hour top speed. Along with the full-fat V8, Ford also offered a frugal 2.8-litre straight six. In fact, choice was one of the factors that made the Mustang such a hit. Along with engines, buyers were faced with an unprecedented choice of body styles, colors, and interior options. Inside, the Mustang provided a unique blend of sportiness and luxury, with a low driving position, a floor-mounted gear selector, matching front-to-back carpets, and, of course, an AM radio. Not that you'd be able to hear it very much. Listen to that. Oh, it sounds filthy. I dare you to jump into a Mark I Ford Mustang and look out beyond this huge chrome steering wheel and that long bonnet and try and drive it without a smile on your face. Okay, performance isn't this car's strong point. It's nowhere near quick enough to be considered sporty by modern standards. The steering is slightly baggy, slightly loose. The handling's a bit roly-poly, but it's not about going quickly in the Mustang. It's about making progress and feeling good while you do it. The reward doesn't come from the acceleration, it comes from the sound and the experience. This is joyous. But the Mark I is very much a product of its time. And in 2024, on the country roads of Essex, the experience of driving it comes at a cost. This car does 12 miles per gallon. Back in 60s America, when fuel was basically free, that wasn't a problem. But let's face it, this is not the car for a cost of living crisis. Something else that's interesting are the brakes. They basically don't exist. Be very careful in a Gen 1 Mustang. The Mustang has, of course, been updated. 6 generations in as many decades have borne witness to various shapes, specifications, and even, much to the horror of die-hard fans, electric power. A lot has changed since the Mustang's launch in 1964. Does the Mustang actually still work as a concept in this day and age? Let's not forget, this was a sports car aimed at the masses. But nowadays, what the masses really want are crossovers and SUVs. Last year, production of two of the Mustang's lifelong competitors, the Chevrolet Camaro and the Dodge Charger, was axed. Many worried that Ford would also bow to current trends and call time on its big, naturally aspirated V8 pony cars. Happily, they needn't have worried.
Because it's back. Bigger, better, faster, and it has seen one of its greatest facelifts for years. Later in the show, a dark horse is looming. It just sucks in this massive lungful of air and then... Earlier, Rory gave us a history lesson on the first 6 decades of a genuine American legend, the Ford Mustang.
Listen to that.
And it appears that the iconic muscle car is refusing to grow old gracefully. Introducing the Ford Mustang Dark Horse. This is a tuned-up, track-focused special edition version of the brand new 7th generation Mustang. And while Rory drove his '64 original through the damp, narrow backroads of Essex, I've had to slam it across to France's Côte d'Azur to take a ride in the latest version. Ford knows what the petrol-head faithful expect with a Mustang, so there's no clever hybrid system, no vegan-friendly interior, and not much fuel economy to speak of either. Yes, it is a 5-litre, naturally aspirated V8 with 453 horsepower. God bless America. Not only does it make a great noise, but the engine will power the Mustang to 62 in 4.4 seconds and on to 155. And for those who can't remember what one looks like, this is a 6-speed manual gearbox. And on my left leg, it's a clutch. Of course, there are some concessions to modernity, with 2 large screens now housing all the dials and most of the controls. And the body has been given a tweak. There's a larger front grille, new-style LED headlamps, a sleeker roofline and a shorter rear overhang, a nod to the proportions of the original Mustang. And there's one other thing that you will only find on this state-of-the-art pony car. Yes, it is the badge. It is the only Stang in the entire history of the world to have a horse's head on the back as opposed to a galloping horse. Right, enough looking. It's time to take this pony for a ride. The Dark Horse will definitely turn heads, thanks to a striking front end, race-inspired diffuser and a fixed rear wing. One of the best things about this car, though, is the noise. As well as a few extra horses over the standard GT version, the Dark Horse also boasts uprated suspension and a race-inspired differential to help tame those rear wheels in the corners. And all of these things make me very happy. It mixes old-school character with a modern feel in the way that it drives. The gearbox is a solid 6-speeder. You need a bit of muscle to move it through the gate, but not too much, and it's a really lovely short throw. However, you can tell the width of this car because my clutch leg is way, way apart from the gearbox itself. It's not like a little European sports car where everything's up nice and close. You do have to move across the cabin a bit to operate it fully. Obviously, that faraway clutch won't be an issue for UK spec right-hand drive Mustangs. Oh, it is an incredibly leggy V8. It just sucks in this massive lungful of air and then fires it out. What a total joy to experience a naturally aspirated engine with no stuff on it. Oh, When it comes to everyday usability, this is perfect, even though this is more geared towards the occasional track day. The seats are very comfortable, big and snug, but if you want super snug ones, you can get optional Recaros, and they would be preferable if you did a lot of track work. The track day cred of the Dark Horse is bolstered by its performance package, which includes a lightweight radiator, auxiliary engine oil cooler and rear axle cooler to stop it overheating when you take your Stang for some hot laps. Despite a lot of controls being tucked in the dash, there are some buttons. I've got loads on the steering wheel to play with. I can go straight into different modes: track, sport, normal, custom, slippery roads, and then drag strip. Hello, hello, hello. And who can resist drag strip mode? Certainly not me, when an opportunity arises. So, drag strip mode, it stiffens the front and raises the rear, and then I have got line lock. Put you in first gear. Lovely. It definitely feels like a muscle car. It really, really does. Oh, it's quick. At the very least, every Mustang should put a smile on your face, and heck yeah, the Dark Horse delivers. It feels properly naughty that Ford even makes a car like this. Naturally, there is a price to pay. £65,585 to be precise, which may seem a lot of money for a car that doesn't make a whole lot of sense on Britain's crowded, speed camera-infested roads. So at this point, I could advise you to save money and buy something sensible instead, like a Nissan Leaf, but I shan't. The Dark Horse is a guilty pleasure, and it's worth every penny.